Welcome to today's Knowledge Pills session. My name is Geraldine De Bastion. I am the founder and one of the executive board members of the Global Innovation Gathering. And today I would like to present to you how we do community building and community care at the Global Innovation Gathering and introduce our organization in a little bit more detail to you. And I would like to begin the presentation by sharing who we are and what makes up our network, or who makes up our network. So GIG is the network of innovation spaces around the world. We are agnostic to what kind of innovation space one might run, whether it's hardware-oriented, software-oriented, makerspace, a community co-working space, as long as people are creating access to technology for their local communities and working with technology that is sustainable and socially oriented in terms of its impact. So we really connect spaces from all over the world with each other. We are a network that connects individuals of excellence, we say, so people who are the makers and innovators within those spaces, as well as the hubs themselves. What is really important to us is the focus on connecting people and creating meaningful connections between our members. So what GIG does is really provide a platform for our members to share on a peer-to-peer level and talk about the things that matter to them, whether that's how to fund a space, how to open a space, what sort of programs to offer for certain target groups, or to talk about specific technologies and specific types of innovations. We offer a global platform for this kind of exchange. And I want to share a little bit about how we began, the origins of our network, which actually started out as an event, hence also our name, the Global Innovation Gathering, because it began as a gathering at the Berlin-based conference Republica. This is a picture of our second gathering in 2014, where you can see we've already become quite a large network of people. But back then we were really just a network that convened once a year at Republica and had loose conversations, peer-to-peer based conversations between the members in the meanwhile. And after having so many fruitful conversations for 2 years in a row, 2014 was the year where the members of this network decided we should be an organization and take the time to really see how can a vibrant but loosely connected network of individuals be turned into an organization without losing any of the dynamic and creativity of the network. And that is a process we engaged in. And now I want to share with you a little bit how we work and how GIG is governed as an organization. We took 2 years to take time with our members to really engage in a bottom-up process to draft and design the governance of the organization as the members would want to have it come to life, and the decision-making processes of the organization. And we did this all by setting up an online document where people could contribute, share ideas, and hosting regular meetings to discuss the things that have been shared in this document. And after a 2-year process, this basically led to the statutes of the organization and the founding of an NGO in Germany. We did look at different formats, but we decided for this one, not just because some of us were based here, but the idea of a German NGO is really something that understands itself as being part of the democratic structure of a society. So understanding civil society as a core important ingredient in a working democracy, and also the democratics of an organization itself. So in a German NGO, every member gets an equal say, and they need to legally be involved in decision-making processes on a regular basis, which is what we do at our membership assemblies, which we host in a hybrid fashion, online and offline, at least once, if not twice a year. And also in GIG, every member gets to vote on different things, whether that's the leadership of the organization, certain directions the organization takes. And we have been very glad over the years that so many people from so many different cultures and societies, also some in countries where you don't get to vote on a lot of things, are really engaged in doing this as part of the organization and building GIG as an organization. We want to be a grassroots democratic organization and really give our members a say in everything. Very important is also so that members get to say who joins the network in a snowball system where members get to suggest new members joining, but everybody also gets to say if they don't want a member to join. So members are suggested to the network, and if there's a veto, there's a process for what happens then. This is important because we are a network of trust, which I'll go back into later, and want to keep it that way. And this is why we involve members in these decision-making processes. We make sure that we have easy access communication. So WhatsApp group, unfortunately, this is still WhatsApp, as this is the most globally available platform to date, which is sad but true, as well as an email mailing list as ways for the members to peer-to-peer share, as I explained earlier already, easily with one another, share opportunities, work opportunities, funding opportunities, ask questions about technology creation, share things that they're working on. And this has happened since the day of GIG's founding to today without us having to do much, which is just a fantastic blessing to be part of this super vibrant community, and as a proof of concept of why we exist for us every day, basically. We also make sure we share our content openly, without externally, not just within the network. For instance, by hosting our YouTube channel, publishing a lot of conversations there, but also our publication website also shared externally. A couple of words on what we do and why GIG perhaps has also tried to bring forward the proof of concept that it's possible to do development differently, and all these big buzzwords that we hear a lot of the time about these bottom-up processes and being global south or user-driven are things that we really try to do by example, and that we have demonstrated over the years that this different take of global development is possible. I am always deeply offended now at this new buzzword of reverse innovation, because it implies that innovation has a direction, and usually this direction is seen from north to south. But of course, as you hopefully all know and agree, that is not the case, and innovation can happen anywhere in the world, and it's a matter of having equal opportunities to be heard and scaled, and that's exactly what GIG stands for and tries to create. Oops. So a lot of what we do is around the co-creation and adoption of open and inclusive technologies, and enabling our members to exchange the innovations they're working on with each other, support them in the creation of these open resources and technologies. And we try to access different funding to do that and to provide funding to our members. Some of that comes from Horizon Europe, where we do a little bit of hacking in the friendly sense that we try to open up these projects also for people working in the global south and not just European-based entities, as is the case, for instance, in one of our research projects that was presented in the last Knowledge Pill series wonderfully by Teresa and Barbara from CETSI. So I won't go into that too much now, but would just highly encourage you to watch that Knowledge Pills presentation. We also do that in other projects such as Carables, which is a project that we're really proud of that we did in the past, together with other consortium members, to create an open source portal for medical devices, medical applications that are also open source, adaptable and reusable. And we try to make sure that these were not just created by European communities, but really around the globe in countries like Nepal, Iraq, Brazil, etc., involving local communities with special healthcare needs and connecting them with makers to create their own devices that will go on this platform. We also try to create other funding access to people in our networks. So a lot of these maker spaces, hubs, innovators, the kind of new actors and not actors that Development Corporation classically works with. So we try to open up funding avenues, for instance, through the NSB, Nord-Süd-Brücken Foundation, which is German development money, and creating partnerships with driven by our members and projects that they want to run and funded through this. You see a picture of the Labmobile here, which is one of the projects funded through NSB, where this mobile makerspace was used in different places to reach out to different communities in more rural areas in and around the Rhino refugee camp in northern Uganda. And lastly, I want to talk a little bit about the culture and community that we have and foster at GIG, and really how we do the connecting with our members and between each other. So community care is something that we really emphasize within the gig network. We have a very clear value-based approach. It doesn't really take much to become a member, apart from signing up to our value sets, committing to those, and agreeing to be an active member of the network and really sharing back with the community. I already mentioned earlier that we're a network of trust, support, and care, and we have these very grassroots decision-making structures in place to make sure this stays that way as we grow. We make sure that our members meet and exchange with another in a meaningful way, which I also mentioned earlier. We do this internally by hosting monthly meet the member sessions for new members to introduce themselves, share more information about their work, and connect with existing members of the network. But we also do this externally through different opportunities to meet and connect with our members, for instance, in connection with some of our projects, as with the critical making project that I mentioned earlier, or the COAC project, another Horizon project that we've been involved in that has just ended now. And lastly, we really also take care to care for our community during our gatherings. We create space for different forms of cultural expression and exchange. And some of those might sound simple, but really kind of create the magic sauce. So this can include making sure that different needs socially are represented in our evening programs. Maybe one night will be a party evening and another evening will be more booth free to cater for those cultures and communities not feeling comfortable in very celebratory, boozy environments. But it could also include cooking for each other and sharing dishes from different countries around the world. We create a global playlist where people can share music and videos from their countries, and just create these small ways of being able to tap into each other's cultures in a social form as well. And yeah, so those are some of the ways that community building works at GIG, through our governance, our structure, through our projects, and through the way that we do community care. I hope this has been interesting for you. And if you want to connect with GIG, then please feel free to reach out to me. Thank you.